Brendan, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How does it feel to be sat here a second time to be unveiled as the Celtic manager?
Well, I'm very privileged and honoured to be asked to come back. My whole plan was to have a year out and reset again. But once I spoke to the guys at the club and looked a little bit more deep into where the club was at, then it was then pretty straightforward. No, listen, I would understand how supporters would feel, and listen, I also know that when I was here, maybe the first time when we were doing really well, I will have had critics. So, but it was an emotional time. The club was going for 10 in a row, and there was a lot of emotion around. It was something that, like you said, I never get too emotional with words. I'm hoping that in my time here, I can have that impact that I had in my first time. I think the expectations are greater. I think the pressure is greater because of what we did the first time and probably how I left. But that was what I wanted. That's why I'm here. I'm here to win, to take on that expectation and pressure, because it's a club that wants to be winning. And for me, hopefully the people that I've had lots of support from when I left, and I'm now coming back, I really thank them for that. For the people that maybe don't want me here, hopefully I can prove to them with the football that we play and the success that we can have, hopefully I can shift their opinion.
I was going to say, is that the hope for you now, that you'll be able to change the opinions of those last few who remain unconvinced? You'll be able to win them back round, because previously obviously you had a fabulous relationship with the fan base.
Yeah, and I hope that I can still have. I think it's just it's natural. When I left, it was a sad moment, and I certainly don't regret it. But what I do regret is the hurt that it caused people, and it's the very reason I'm sat here today. As a Celtic supporter, I understood what it meant, and probably even more so when I left. So that was my regret, that I hurt people who were Celtic supporters, and it was a big part of coming back.
Have you spoken to Ange at all about the group you're inheriting and what he found here during his time?
No, I've exchanged messages with him. I've spoken in depth to John Kennedy, who's obviously been a pivotal person here at the club, and who'll be my assistant whilst I'm here. So yeah, I've spoken at length. I've obviously watched Celtic as well. The football philosophy is not too different in terms of how we would work, and how a Celtic manager is perceived to work with his team. It's an attacking club where you have to not just win, but you have to win stylistically in a certain way, and Ange's obviously done that, and hopefully my period before we were able to do that. So it's a continuation of that, and looking to continue to build on that. I think first and foremost, your bread and butter is always Scotland. So you have to ensure that you have dominance whilst you're here. But what I would like to think that we can do something in Europe, and that means it's well documented over many years. When the club hasn't qualified or gone through a great record in terms of European football. So, and even though that is a challenge with the resources that other clubs will have in terms of European football, it's a great challenge for us. Get Champions League football this season, and look to have European football after Christmas. And like I say, that's a great challenge for us all. Well, listen, we all know the challenges of the Champions League, and of course it's where you can get through. If you can get through into the knockout stages, then of course that's a big step for a Scottish team. But you arrive into Europe, there's competitions now where you can, with that little bit of luck and the quality that you can have, it can allow you to go a long way. So for us, I think it's getting through a qualification phase, which is really, really important. And like I said, you see where that can take you. But Europe is something that it's such a challenge. But for us, it's a great challenge, and that's something that we'll look to embrace.